What is up? Welcome to the Frozen Road Podcast. I'm John Hunter. This is Danny the Pitchman Hart. Danny, what is up?
What's up, brother? Long time no talk. It seems to be.
I know, dude. You're just coming off what sounded like an illness, an extreme illness is from what you were telling me.
I
It
feel like I'm.
sounded
I
like you
feel
were
like I'm
dying.
almost dead. Yeah, I feel like I am currently
from what,
almost dead.
yeah. From what I got out of that is you were dying,
Mm-hmm.
and I was
And
concerned.
still in the process. The mornings are a struggle. I think I'm getting double teamed. No, well, whatever. By maybe COVID and allergies.
A little allergies. Yeah, I mean, it's going around.
Yeah,
It's happening. It
it
happens. This
it
shit
is what it is.
Um, One thing I did want to start off with this is I wanted to just, throw it out there that on this podcast
Talk your shit.
on March 11th, we haven't been on since before the World Series ended. So I did want to just throw this out there, and I've thrown it out there numerous times on Twitter, all that type of shit. I want people to know I was the first to say Braves, Astros, Braves in 6. I said it in March 11th. I'm sticking to that. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Trevor Plouffe, I don't care what you say. I was the first. It was me. He's going out there. He's getting interviewed. All this shit. It's bullshit. It's
Have you always been Trevor? Have you always been a wizard? Like what?
Get the fuck out of here.
You said it way before him. Weeks, maybe 2.
It was 2 weeks that I said it before Trevor Plouffe did.
And he had 2 weeks to watch your episode.
2 weeks.
And come to the same conclusion. Real original.
That's what happened. He came to that conclusion, and that's where I'm at with this. He watched this show,
of course, obviously.
Trevor Plouffe, fan of the show, and he came on here and he said, "You know what? I'm going to steal this guy's bit, and I'm going to make a big thing of it." And there's T-shirts being made. John Boy has T-shirts being made.
Unbelievable.
Of that, it's unbelievable. It's not fair.
Unbelievable.
It doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm irate about it. If you want me to be completely honest, he's getting all my fame.
Yeah, I mean, I think currently you are up 2-1 in the series versus you and Trevor Plouffe. You were first to say it, so that's 1-0 you. Your last name way easier to say and spell. Yeah. What the fuck is a Plouffe?
I think it's like one of those things where just like.
Yeah, it's like a air fart kind of.
An air, yeah, hey, it's an air fart.
So this, yeah, like it's a loose fart. But and then the one thing that he does have over you, he got to play in the major leagues, and you unfortunately didn't.
You know what's pretty crazy about him, and he actually says this. This is actually like a thing that he. Where's his Twitter? Give me 1 second. His claim to fame, and I actually absolutely love it. He is the greatest hitter ever against position players pitching. He's 2 for 2 with 2 home runs.
It's hard to beat.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest of all time. So actually, it's actually a
2-2 tie. Yep,
it's a 2-2 tie series at this point. The only way we can
break this is then again, you didn't have an opportunity. So, I mean,
I never got my chance. Just like I never got my chance to be famous because of that call.
Exactly.
And I tried impeding, and every time he posted it, I said, "You know what? No, I want people to know it was me."
Yeah, and he doesn't want to hear it. Unbelievable.
No, he doesn't. And then he threw. I said it to him, and he commented back and hit me back with a, some guy actually said it back in 2017. No, all that guy said was the Braves would be your 2021 World Series champions. He didn't say the whole list that me and him did. And then I wrote back to him. I said, "Listen, this is between me and you. This is not between me and some other.
Don't bring third party hooligans into this.
This is a Plouffe and Hunter thing. And we're gonna figure this out."
Exactly.
Unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, just like every other show, I feel like we say this. There's been a lot. Things have happened. This is that should be like the quote of like every show. A lot has happened.
Shit happens.
Baseball has
a lot of shit happens. Yeah.
Baseball has been fucking wild, and there's been every big award has been handed out. I have the Gold Gloves. I didn't have the Silver Sluggers written down, but I can obviously go on my phone and look at that.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with the Gold Gloves. That was given out first. We'll start there. Um, I to be honest, this is the first year I really kind of feel like looking into the Gold Glove situation that I wasn't really I wasn't really like upset with a lot of the
Mhm.
people who won. Last year, I feel like they got a good amount wrong. This year I feel like we're starting to see we're in a time where I think they're actually starting to use sabermetrics a little bit more, and they're starting to use analytics and figuring out who really deserves these awards. There was
Exactly.
a
Yep.
couple that I definitely was a little bit like, I don't think they probably should have won. I would have probably went somewhere else.
Mhm.
Um, so we'll start off in the AL. Yuli Gurriel at first base. Simeon won at second base. Carlos Correa won at shortstop. Matt Chapman won at third base. Left field was Andrew Benintendi. Center field was Michael Taylor. Right field was Joey Gallo. Catcher Sean Murphy. We'll start there. We'll start with the AL. I actually would have went instead of going with Yuli Gurriel. I was more interested in Matt Olson. I thought Matt Olson was hands down he probably was the best defensive first baseman in all of baseball. Not even just
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
AL.
Like platinum award winner.
I think he should have been. He was
Absolutely.
the best defensive first baseman. Um, didn't really agree with the
Yeah.
Yuli
A
Gurriel
couple like
thing.
yeah. Even like Ty France played great, like
Yeah,
defensive first
absolutely.
base. Like it's just there was a couple players, but like you said, that they are actually looking deeper into it than just
Yeah,
the reputation thing, which they always tend to do. But
yeah,
now it's like they're actually looking into analytics, which definitely helps the
it's a huge help.
mid-level guys that wouldn't even get considered just because of the team. Like Benintendi, they're not like good right now. Like obviously, when they're a better team, the good teams usually like fucking Cardinals. Yeah, 23 Gold Gloves this year. Like it's impressive because
Dude,
if they were the worst team in the league, no one would even consider any of them.
no,
But
it's kind of crazy, and I think that this even more shines more of a light on the fact that with Mike Schilt and him being fired, they were hands down the best defensive team
yep,
in baseball from every metric shows it, and I mean the awards showed it that they were
yeah,
the best defensive team. So you kind of like there was a lot that I kind of looked at and I was like, wow, it's kind of crazy. Like they made the playoffs.
hmm
Their defense played as well as it did. They were able to do what they had to do. They won. They won on that 17-game winning streak, and they lost their manager.
yeah,
Like it
like
kind of blows your mind there.
just an absolutely well coached team and
So
Schilt
well
is
coached
gone.
that you lost your job.
Yeah, like I feel like defense is a very like big like coaching is very big part of defense. Like if
Yeah,
anything, and yeah, it's just crazy. 5 Gold Gloves and not good enough.
five
You're out of here.
five gold gloves, a 17-game winning streak, a playoff
Yeah,
berth, and not to mention a manager of the year candidate
yeah, and
as well.
that's yeah with like Flaherty and stuff. Like he wasn't even available most of the season. Like that's a crazy. How the hell we get talking about Mike Schultz so fast? But
It's
uh,
because it's still mind blowing that like that happened. But we'll get to the NL. But Yuli Gurriel, I said I wasn't really high on that. I thought that it went to. I actually think an Astro should have won and a Gold Glove. Another Astro should have won a Gold Glove here, but
Kyle
I
Tucker.
didn't think it should have been Yuli Gurriel. I think it should have went in right field where Joey Gallo ended up coming home with the Gold Glove. I think it should have went to Kyle Tucker. Kyle
hmm
Tucker did have a better defensive season. He had more defensive runs saved, and his UZR, which means he covered a lot more ground. He had a lot more range. He was able to cover more ground than Joey Gallo. Not saying Joey Gallo had a bad year.
I
Joey
mean,
Gallo didn't have a good. He had a solid season in the outfield when he played the outfield.
yes, and a lot of his reputation is solely based on his rifle of a right arm.
Yeah,
Like the dude has a hose, and like obviously that comes to play. So, like having one of the strongest arms in the game definitely helps. You
yeah.
get that recognition and the consideration of the Gold Glove award that maybe there was other more deserving players.
That was one of the awards I feel like we saw a lot more. I feel like that was like one like there was a couple, there's a couple words we have here and when people were like, there were slam dunks. Everyone was like, "Oh, that makes sense. Obviously, he's gonna win that." But like that was one of the awards where people kind of like, well, he DH'd a lot. Like he wasn't a full-time outfielder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Kyle Tucker's a guy who I think is going to win an MVP. I think he's an MVP in the making. I think one day he's going to. They're going to, if they lose Carlos Correa, which it could happen. It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it's a out of the realm of possibility. Actually Carlos Correa actually met with AJ Hinch today. They went to lunch today, and apparently the conversation went great. They had a great day. I mean, that's not really everything you want to hear if you're an Astros fan. Not that they even really probably thought they
Absolutely
had a shot
not.
at keeping him, but I mean, he's going back with it. It looks like there could be a really strong possibility, which is something me and you have talked about, of him going to play for AJ
Yeah.
Hinch with the Tigers. And
Yep.
I don't think that's a bad move at all at any point, because I think that
Yeah.
they need a shortstop. He's a great shortstop. He's the best shortstop, I think, in the whole free agent class right
Yeah.
now. But yeah, I mean, that's
He's just absolutely complete player.
yeah, absolutely. So, and I mean, fuck, you want a Gold Glove as well. You want a Gold Glove. You want a Silver
Yep.
Slugger. He had a very, very good season, and
He's going to get paid.
absolutely is, and as he should.
Detroit can afford to pay him. They can give him
Absolutely.
the biggest contract, and like I don't know why, but like I like when Detroit is a good baseball team.
Absolutely.
Like
I too.
old school, like old school look uniforms usually are pretty old school. Like I don't know, Detroit's one of those teams that I just always hope that like figure it out. And their pitching staff, they're up and coming pitchers that they have through the farm system that are already reaching the major leagues. They definitely have a chance to prove some people wrong in the next upcoming years.
Absolutely.
Like you were actually big on them in the beginning of the season, thinking they were like a dark horse playoff team.
I did. I was kind of thinking maybe Spencer Torkelson could make his way up to the majors at some point this year. I think he's definitely going to probably be if I had to guess, he makes the opening day roster, especially if they sign Carlos Correa. I think they bring him up and they go, you know what? Let's throw you out there.
Yep.
Let's throw you to the Wolves. Let's get it. Let's try to win this. Let's try to do something here. But yeah, they always have players that I always enjoyed. So that was and you know, Jacoby Jones is somebody who I'm a big fan of. He's a free agent right now, and you know, some teams. There's another team in Philadelphia who could definitely use a center fielder with a lot of range.
That will be a lot cheaper of an option with upside. Like he's at that second. I feel like no one even talks that could play huge fucking dividends for a number of teams.
Definitely. Absolutely. So the NL. We'll get to the NL. The NL was pretty much the
Cardinals.
St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
First base, Paul Goldschmidt. Second base was Tommy Edman. Shortstop was Brandon Crawford. Third base, Nolan Arenado. No surprise there. Again, left field was Tyler O'Neill. Center field was Harrison Bader. Right field, Adam Duvall. Catcher, Jacob Stallings. I mean, I didn't have any gripes really with the NL. I mean, catcher, I would have went Real Muto probably. Real Muto is a far better framer. That's something that I hold a lot. I think should hold a lot more weight when it comes to catching. It should. That's one of the biggest. That's a huge. I think that's the biggest asset you could have as a catcher is your framing. And the Phillies, JT Realmuto is the best at that. He is the best framer in all of baseball.
Yeah, because and a lot of it is to do with he doesn't exaggerate them as much as some catchers are absolutely ridiculous with how much they do try. Like the umpire, like they notice that. Like JT does it so smooth, and I feel like JT, if he realizes like a pitch missed the spot as like it wasn't set up to be, he will let it even a strike not look like a strike just so he's on like good terms with the umpire. Like absolutely. I feel like he never tried showing him up or anything. He just does it well.
He's an umpire. He's an umpire's catcher for sure. And I would have went there. I think that might be one of the only moves. I mean, when I did my my season at the end of the season, I like looked at who I would have put. I don't know if I have the list still. I did have it. Of who I would have had win the Gold Glove.
Duvall, I didn't look into him specifically. Were his numbers that good? Adam Duvall?
Yeah. Duvall had a really, really good year defensively. Was very, very good defensively. I actually had him as my right fielder for the Gold Glove when I was going through my stuff. Colton Wong was
Yeah.
my second baseman.
Former
Also
Cardinal.
former
Yeah.
Cardinal. So either way, you couldn't have went wrong if you were a Cardinal.
Yeah.
And then I had Newman from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Mhm.
He had a very good year at shortstop. But again, I'm a Brandon Crawford guy. Me and him have the same birthday. We're birthday twins. I respect Brandon Crawford, and
You
I
have
think
to.
and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Brandon Crawford being named the shortstop at Gold Glove. Also because I'm also a huge fan of Kai Correa. Me and you have talked about this. I sent him a text last week and
You got a restraining
didn't
order coming.
didn't really go the way I wanted it to. Not that
You just didn't see it yet.
it's not that he didn't see it yet. I think he looked at it and went, "This is strange," and then
Yeah,
just didn't answer
100%.
back. He
Yeah.
answered back when I asked him if it was him. He said yes. It was a real creepy text. I shouldn't have probably did it, but like Michael Scott once said, "You miss
Yeah,
100% of the shots you don't take."
exactly.
Wayne Gretzky also
Michael Scott.
apparently said that.
Yeah,
Michael Scott
apparently.
loved, yeah. He apparently Michael Scott got that stolen from him by Wayne Gretzky. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I had to take the shot. He's somebody I'm a big fan of, and I would love to have him on here. And that was, and I so seeing that one of his products in Brandon Crawford
Yeah.
ended up winning it. I was cool with that. I was completely cool with that. All right, we'll move on to the managers of the year. Uh, so one thing I did have, like, I don't have the same problem that other people did with who was it? With
Cash.
Mike Schilt. Mike Schilt
Oh,
being a
shit. Okay.
candidate. I didn't really care about that. I didn't really care about Mike Schilt being a candidate.
Yeah.
What I did care about is that Alex Cora wasn't a candidate for the AL.
Yeah. Preseason afterthought. Didn't like nobody had them making the playoffs or even coming like definitely not competing for the division. Also, no one had them competing for wild card. And like, how do you not give like such an overachieving team manager like even a consideration for it? It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and that's kind of where I was at. Like, I just didn't really get it, and I think he finished in like 5th. So he didn't even finish in the top. He finished in the top 5, but you would think if he was going to finish anywhere, it'd be like 4. If he didn't get in, no, he finished 5th,
Yeah.
and that's something that I kind of I don't know. I thought that he deserved. I might be biased, but like I just
No,
believe
absolutely not. No,
I believe
definitely
that
not.
he should have probably have gotten more consideration for a finalist spot, even if he didn't win it.
Yeah.
He should have gotten. I mean, the guy who won it, his team knocked him out.
Yeah.
You know,
And
Kevin Cash ended up AL Manager of the Year was Kevin Cash for this Tampa Bay Rays. Listen, Tampa Bay had a great year.
and again, but this
And I
like
respect that.
so this is my problem with like Kevin. I feel like every year you're going to be able to give it to Tampa Bay. It's their organization.
100%.
Joe Madden was the same exact thing.
Yep.
He did shit with players that nobody really considered as like an elite player. They have a bunch of good players. It's a great organization. It's well ran. The manager doesn't do too much. Like they just, especially with a team like that, like he did a great job, obviously, but they're just such a well-oiled machine that like it's hard to mess that situation up. And do you think for the match specifically for manager of the year, not Cy Young, not MVP, do you think the playoffs should be involved with manager of the year?
So, are you asking if I think Manager of the Year should be the one award that
Yes,
they wait on?
that they wait, yeah, to decide.
Sure.
Not that always.
But that's the
Not
thing.
that the World Series team always win, like that manager always wins, but like exactly your situation, Alex Cora and Kevin Cash.
I mean, you possibly. I mean, I don't think that that's like something that should be like an afterthought. I guess, like you said, kind of like an afterthought. Like you should definitely bring that to the table and talk about it. But my problem with that is if you wait on that, I would not be shocked if every year the team who won the World Series ended up like that's where they would be like there would be some type of bias towards that.
Yeah, true.
And they would
It'd be hard to argue against it. Yeah,
and listen,
either
I get that.
Yeah, either they were the best team all year and they won it, or they snuck into the playoffs and won it. And it's like, oh, well, this guy just did this with a team that barely got in, and he obviously helped them win it. Like, yeah, it would be tough, but
Yeah, because I
Like,
mean, like, how wouldn't you give it to Brian Snicker at that point?
yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, he
Yep.
just his team was shit. They made the playoffs, and then they ended up running through the World Series. They took out some pretty. I mean, they took out the Dodgers. That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
They took the Dodgers out, and they took the Houston Astros out. There are two teams that, in my mind, were probably the best two. I
Yeah,
mean,
juggernauts.
the Giants are the Giants. The Giants had a great year this year, and they proved themselves. And I'm not going to sit there and scoff at them because they
Yeah.
deserved a lot of that. But like,
107 wins and the manager of
yeah,
the year.
and yeah, that's another one. I mean, Gabe Kapler, NL Manager of the Year. So like, and like and that's another thing. You have Gabe Kapler who won it, and Gabe Kapler should have won it. He had a 0% chance coming into the season of winning that division.
Yeah.
0. Like, and he wasn't even looked at as the second team
Yeah.
in
It
their
would
division.
yeah, exactly. It would be like, I guess, borderline impossible to be
Yeah, so
fair in that
exactly.
situation.
And because then you got to because then once that award becomes that, then they start bringing to the table like, well, I think that the MVP award should be voted
Yeah.
on after, which I don't think it should because it
No, I
shouldn't
don't think
really
so either.
matter. I think the way that they have it going right now is the way that it should be. Cy
Mhm.
Young, same way. I think the way that they're going about it is the way it should go, and
Yeah.
it's worked
Regular
out
season
well.
awards.
But like a guy like Gabe Kapler, I think Gabe Kapler 100% deserved
Yeah.
this year's NL Manager of the Year. Kevin Cash also deserved the Manager of the Year. Kevin Cash was a great manager, and
Mhm.
he's one of my favorite managers in all of baseball. Like that's somebody who I look at and I think I like the way he runs his team. And people can disagree. People don't like the analytical side of him and where he looks at it and goes, all right, well, then everyone busted his balls about taking Blake Snell out in the World Series last year. I really didn't think that was a bad move. I mean, he knows his players. He knows Blake Snell. He knows what he does through the third time through. He was also
Yep.
about to face Mookie Betts at the top of that lineup.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, who knows what would have happened if you would have kept him in? It could have been way worse than it already was. Like they
And yeah,
lost the game, but like,
not to mention the Rays bullpen is like that was a huge part of their team. Like they
yeah,
had
absolutely.
the whole situation of the left arm sidearm all the way around the fan to the right arm sidearm. Like they
Yeah,
just
it's
like that was a huge. I mean, it always is for the Rays. They always have those bullpen guys that just come out in any situation. So I mean, yeah,
for
Kevin
sure.
Cash gets a lot of heat for that move, but and if it worked, he would have looked like a genius. So
Exactly. And I think that's what it comes down to for me is, it's it's all about what the result is.
yeah,
So like
hindsight's 2020, yeah, of course.
it always is, and especially with a managerial decision like that, like if it makes like I made a comment about what's his name, Carson Wentz the other day. So remember, did you see when Carson like ran out and then threw that like shuffle pass that
Yeah,
went like 15 yards, and the dude
yeah,
dropped it.
yep.
That
To the
dude
running back,
catch that dude that running back catches that and runs it for a touchdown.
fucking
That's a
yeah,
great play. The guy
exactly,
dropped it, and it's like, oh, another bonehead move by
exactly,
Carson.
yeah.
Like it's always like sports. That's the number one thing. If the result is a certain way, then
You're a
that's when
genius. Like
you're a genius. Exactly.
Philly in the Super Bowl, like that could have been a disaster.
That could have been a
But
horrible play
like, yeah,
because
you're
then not only did it did work, then they were able to show video of the quarterback telling the coach, a backup quarterback telling the
yep,
coach, "Hey, this is
yeah.
what we should do," and he went, all
All
right,"
right.
in
Yeah,
a
in the
Super
fucking Super
Bowl.
Bowl. Yeah, imagine the pitch went wrong and it was a fucking fumble recovery for
Exactly.
a touchdown. It would go. He would
Exactly.
have been fired at fucking halftime.
This dude's doing a trick play against Bill Belichick in a Super
Yeah,
Bowl. They'd be like, "What a moron!" But now,
exactly.
it
Yeah,
ended up being it's probably one of the greatest plays in a Super Bowl
absolutely.
ever. I mean, again, not being biased, but that was ridiculous how that like the whole turn of events happened there.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I said, I like Kevin Cash. Kevin Cash is back to back AL Manager of the Year. Gabe Kapler, again, well deserved.
yeah. Hard to
Um,
argue at all.
it's very hard to argue that he didn't deserve that, and I don't know. I was a big fan of it, and I completely agree with that. All right, moving on to the rookies of the year.
Th-
Uh,
This was a little
and
fiery subject.
it was. It wasn't. I don't. I mean, the AL was. I think the AL was a good mix. I feel like there was a good mix of. Obviously, it was just the Rays. It was the Rays, and
And yeah,
yeah, You know what I mean? It was like, I think either one of the Rays, in my mind, probably should have won it, and one of them did. Randy Arozarena was your AL Rookie of the Year. Randy had a great year
Yeah,
once again. I mean, he carried his World Series, you know,
yeah, that
playoff
run, that
performance of
run
last
was
year.
ridiculous. Yeah,
It was unreal.
that's what I meant by fiery. Like, not that he didn't deserve it, but there was a lot of criticism on should he be able to like even be in the running. But like they're the rules. If you don't have him the right plate appearances, you are eligible to be Rookie of the Year. Like that's just how it is.
Absolutely.
You're still a rookie. Like a lot of people don't like that, but like that's just the way it is. It's not the NBA. It's not the NFL. Like it's plate appearances, innings pitched. So
So an interesting thing I saw. So Ian Anderson. Ian Anderson obviously didn't win that. It didn't win the Rookie of the Year, but he is only the second player. Well, now the third. He is now this. He was the second player to be voted on to receive Rookie of the Year votes in 2 straight seasons.
yeah, like it is weird, a weird thing to think about, but that is the
Yeah,
rule. Like
but
it's
he
the
didn't have
threshold. If you
enough
don't reach it,
innings.
you're eligible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he was eligible to be voted for twice. Another
mhm,
guy who was eligible to be voted for twice was Ryan Mountcastle from the
exactly.
Baltimore
That
Orioles.
a lot of people that were bashing Rosarena because he played for the Cardinals in 2019. I think a few games, had a few at bats. Then he had a little bit, like he had some time last year, and then a huge playoff run. A lot of the Orioles fans were bashing that, but Mountcastle played a ton last year. Like
Yeah,
if it wasn't a shortened season, Mountcastle would have had no chance to be in the running this year. Like
absolutely.
it's like I don't know. It's the rules are the rules. Like they can't.
Yeah,
That's what
you
they are. If
should
you don't
get.
reach the threshold, you're still eligible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's where a lot of this stuff I feel like goes wrong when it comes to like the way people think about who like who cares? Why do you
Yeah,
care so much that somebody like he said like it's the same shit that happened with Ben Simmons when Ben
yeah.
Simmons was up for we're talking about different sports today. This is different.
Yeah, it
But Ben
is. But
Simmons was voted on as Rookie of the Year, and Donovan Mitchell wasn't a fan of that because he really was in his second year when
yeah, but
he won the MVP, when he won the Rookie of the Year, but he did not
it did
play.
not play. If Ben Simmons played 14 seconds the year prior, he wouldn't have been eligible. But he
Yeah,
did not
exactly.
play.
Yeah,
And it's the same.
which
The flip version of that is Embiid. His rookie year played 31 games, probably 82. I don't know. He played a ton. Like you can't have both worlds. Like Embiid should have won because he was a better player, but he didn't have enough games. It was just like the rules
yep.
are the rules. Like I mean, that's the threshold you have to reach. Dorena didn't reach them,
No.
so he's
And
still eligible and well deserving.
so yeah, and I agree. Randy Rosarin deserved it. The NL Rookie of the Year. Now, this was one that I feel like was kind of like a toss up. Not really, but a toss up to some people. I mean, we had uh, the winner, who was Jonathan India, the second baseman for the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah,
He deserved it. He definitely did. But there was
very
I
solid
actually
season, a good
la-
year.
when me and you
Like
did
Rogers.
when me and you did our voting on who we think should win it. I went
Yeah,
with Tyler Rogers, who had a great year. He deserved it.
he did.
He was an unreal pitcher. Had a really good season as a starting pitcher. But Jonathan India had a great year, as did Dylan Carlson, who was also up for the Rookie of the Year as
Yeah,
well. Another guy who I think is going to be an absolute stud in this league.
he
Um,
absolutely is.
and he's playing for a perfect organization. I don't really think it
Yeah,
gets much better than the organization he plays for, and it's in the St. Louis Cardinals. And if he can stay around, I mean, if he can stay healthy, I mean that organization is going to help him succeed. So I think you're going to see him up for MVPs over Rookie of the Years. You know what I mean? So,
yep,
but yeah,
yeah,
and Rogers, I think, is going to be up for Cy Youngs. He has that type of body of work. The way he looks, his makeup, his
yep.
mechanics, he looks like he's going to be a really good starting pitcher in this league for a long time. And he's one of those guys that I hope stays with the Marlins. Like I hope
Yeah,
he
that helps
like
like build something there.
you want and need them to build things.
Yeah,
And with the CBA coming up, you got to imagine that they want to try to make it very hard for these teams like the Rays and not that the Rays ever tank, but like for them to cut costs. They
Mm.
don't. They're going to have to come up with some type of threshold. Like you have to spend
Yeah,
this
a minimum.
amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the only part that sucks there is that could open up a possibility for a conversation of a salary cap, which
Yes,
would not
and
be
it
good
could.
either.
Yeah. You don't want a salary cap in baseball, but at the same, like there should be a minimum, but a minimum could open up the idea of franchises relocating, which I mean isn't the
Yeah.
worst thing in the world, but like that would be a conversation that comes up if these teams that aren't the biggest market obviously have to continuously play 100 million plus contracts every year. Like there might be, give these teams or cities that want baseball teams that might wind up having it if that's the case.
I don't disagree with that. I think we're going to need to see stuff like that. We're going to need to see a more competitive. They're like they call that like the luxury tax is called really called the competitive balance tax, which is really what is because they want it to be like, but it's not really. It hasn't really been competitive.
Yeah,
like
the same dog shit teams for a while.
It's exactly, and you see the same in the top 8. There's always like that one random team who comes in.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they go away for a while, and then another random team comes in.
Yeah, they strike gold. Yeah, they strike gold on a couple contracts, a couple players, and they ride that wave for a little bit, and then it's just back to bullshit.
Yeah. And then it's back to the same teams, and but there's always that same core of teams. There's 5 teams that are always involved: Cardinals, Yankees, Red Sox.
I mean, the Rays at this point.
The Rays have the Rays have made it since 2009 or 2008. The Rays have been pretty consistently in that group.
Yeah.
So you can even right now you can definitely probably throw them in there.
Dodgers obviously.
Dodgers are up there right now, and I mean the Giants really have been a part of
over a decade now.
Yeah. And then after that, it's like the Oakland A's. You can't forget about the Oakland A's, who are always involved in playoff talks, and no matter who they have,
they're always the afterthought.
But they're one of those
always
teams.
Decent.
It's because they're one of those teams that always cut costs, and then they get like look what they're doing now. We're already talking about possibly getting rid of Matt Olson. They're talking about getting rid of Matt Chapman. Like you have these are players that you should try to keep on and build with, but they don't want to.
Literally,
exactly. They are the corner of their infield.
Literally cornerstones to build upon,
and they don't want to do it. And
that's why in 5 years, if the CBA does what it might do, the Oakland A's might not be the Oakland A's anymore. I mean, they're getting that stadium built, but
I did see that the stadium is in the making right now. They're talking about it. I mean, that could be huge for them, but
something does have to happen. Like you can't. The Marlins are the perfect example of that trash team that catches lightning in a bottle. Sometimes they did win 2 World Series, which is outrageous with how bad they are every year.
They've had 3 lightning in a bottle seasons, and they've won World Series in 2 of them.
Yeah, and one you consider
like
last year lightning in a bottle. It was a lightning in a bottle in a 60-game season. It was a crazy.
They've only made the postseason
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah,
and
2 World
they've
Series
won it twice.
Yep.
Last year was the first time they lost a playoff series.
Yeah, it's insane
in their franchise history.
And the other what 20, whatever it is now.
They've either been the worst team in baseball, or they're just the worst team
right there
in the National League East. Like there's no in between with them, and it's either they win the World Series or they don't. That's really how
them, the Pirates, the Orioles, Detroit Lions. I guess we can throw in there because they fucking stink, even though they play football. There's just a bunch of bullshit organizations that don't want to spend money, and it's just got to put that minimum.
Exactly, and that's where I think the minimum has to come in. It has to come in with teams like that, because if it doesn't, who knows what the fuck's going to happen at that point? Like you need teams to be competitive. And don't get me wrong, there's always going to be a loser. There's always going to be a team that's the worst team. But it doesn't always have to be the same teams. And it's almost like these franchises are okay with that. Like, I'm not sure what goes into owning a team. I don't know who has what they get from it, no matter what. Like if they get some type of crazy money, as a write-off.
The TV deals. TV deals alone are fucking insane.
Yeah, and I mean, who wasn't it a couple years ago? It was probably what, like 10, probably more like 10 years ago when the Marlins got like they were like, all right, well, we're gonna try to compete here.
Yeah,
And they traded for Jose. Was it Jose Reyes? Was it that? No, Hanley. Was it Jose Reyes or Mark Burley? Didn't they trade for like Mark Burley a couple and it was like one of those like weird years where it was like, what, like why? Why are you trying to compete here? I remember they both went to Toronto.
oh,
They both
drawing a
signed with
blank here.
Toronto.
Yeah,
Hold on, I'm getting to the bottom of this. It was something like
it
that where
probably. I
they
mean,
had like
it
a
would make
year.
sense. Burley and Reyes then would make sense.
Let's see. So 2012 was the year. I'm almost positive. 2012 Marlins.
Something on me for a minute.
Marlins break. Hold on. Marlins Blue Jays trade was what just came up.
What?
That was actually in the Google search. Marlins Blue Jays trade. Yeah, they traded. It was the infamous 12-player trade that shocked the baseball world on November 14th, 2012. The Blue Jays overhauled their roster in a big way, acquiring all-star shortstop Jose Reyes, front end star. Yeah, because they both signed with the Marlins, and the Marlins said, you know what, we're just going to trade them all
Yeah.
after a year.
Uh,
They signed
yeah.
remember they signed them both to
We're
like
going to
huge
try
deals,
competing.
and they were
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, we're not. We're just going to trade them
Fuck.
now.
Yeah, never
And
mind.
yeah, and it's just fucking wild how like that ended up happening. Like it's almost ridiculous that they were able to do that. Like the Blue Jays overhauled their roster in a big way, acquiring all-star shortstop Jose Reyes, Josh Johnson,
Josh
Mark
Johnson was a
Burley,
beast at that time too.
Emilio Bonifacio, and John Buck. They acquired 5 players from the Marlins because the Marlins just said, "Fuck this.
Yeah.
We don't want to. We don't want to play anymore."
Yeah, we dipped our toes in that water and it was cold. Let's get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here.
And they didn't want any parts of it. And like, that's one of those trades where you're just like, why? Like, why did you sign them guys in 2011 just to get rid of them all in 2012?
Yeah, that quick of an overhaul. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
insane.
just I mean, I'm hoping the Derek Jeter thing and Derek Jeter, and they have that. They also have what the hell is her? Who's their GM now? GM Marlins. Kim Yang, I believe
Asian.
her
I was
name
gonna
is.
say Asian woman, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was the first female to be a general manager, and also she was the first minority woman to be, which women in sports is a minority in its own
Yeah.
right now, and it
Absolutely.
should be. They should. I'm liking the fact they are pushing that more a little bit more now.
Yep.
And now they have her. She's also a GM now, which is even better that they were able to put her in a big executive position as well. And I'm hoping they're going to start pushing forward. I mean, they have a good system. They have another guy they have that right now in Jazz Chisholm, who you can easily
Yeah.
build around. He's a very good ball player.
Very likable too. He has
Yep.
all the tools to market. Like he's one of those fucking players that have swag and that back it up with their play. Like
He was somebody who I thought was going to be more involved in you know, was he a rookie this year? I think he was, right? Or was that last year he was a rookie?
I don't know if I think he was a rookie this year, right? He just missed a ton of time. I don't know. No, I think he had to be a rookie last year.
Oh no.
And I know he missed a ton of time this year.
He played last year, but I think he got hurt last year. Yeah, I mean he's one of them guys. Like 2021 made the Marlins. Yeah, it says he made the Marlins out of spring training, which is in 2021. So I guess
Okay,
they were.
So I guess
I
how
guess
many
he
at bats?
was.
How many at bats did he have last year?
Let's see.
I think he was. I mean, I guess he was a rookie this year. He had 56 at bats last year, or 62 plate appearances. So yeah, he was a rookie. I remember.
Yeah, he was a rookie this year. So he
Yeah.
was somebody, and I remember. You know what? I do remember this because in the beginning of the year, I thought he was going to be up for
An
rookie of the year
all-star
this year.
And you thought he was going to be the
yeah,
all-star second baseman before his injury.
yeah. and he should have been. Before his injury, he was one of the best players in baseball.
I think I said Adam Frazier, and you were like Jazz Chisholm. I'm like, yeah, I mean, if he fucking wasn't hurt, he definitely would have been.
Yeah. So he's another one. That's another guy that I thought the Marlins were going to be able to, or hopefully they're able to do something with. I don't want to. I want to see them be competitive. I mean, from what I'm hearing, they're in on Nick Castellanos. He's one of the players that they're in on.
Yep.
It's just.
I
crazy.
mean,
it's like
if fucking Correa doesn't go to the Tigers, he could easily fall to them. Like they might be getting one of those players.
Yeah.
Because if they're willing to spend and go give someone that contract, that like the top of the market contract, and like as a baseball player, I mean, I know they don't draw as many fans as you would like, but why wouldn't you want to go to Miami? Like, fucking great.
Florida's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
and South Beach too. Like South Beach is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, they were. So I'm actually gonna pause. Let me pause for a second, and we're gonna do the all the podcasts and stuff that the Buzz has to offer, all the live shows and stuff. I'm gonna play a little promo for you.
You West the competition, bring on the competition. We need some competition, y'all ain't no competition. It's time to ball, yeah, shawty, time to brawl. Cause see, we bout to stomp y'all from the jump ball. Me worried not at all, your team is gonna fall. Hope you learn something from it, cause we schooling all of y'all. Putting you to shame, don't hate you even came. Bringing the pain to anybody coming through the lane. Simple and plain, we gon' play it like we playing dames. Ain't got a chance, even if we give away the game. So hope you brought your best. Go put your skills to the test. An early off season, about to lay your team to rest. Talk just another loss. That's what it's gonna cost. Go with your instincts if you're having second thoughts. Your buck, this is where it stops, player. From the point to the center, whole team got hops, player. We be the kings of this division, here to knock you out the box, player.
All right, that is everything the Buzz has to offer. Let me also stop and pause to let me tell you about the fastest growing construction company in the Tri-State area. That's Garrett Creek Construction. GGC is available to service all of your construction needs. They specialize in gut rehabs, basements, bathrooms, and kitchens. Choose Garrett Group Construction, the official sponsor of the Frozen Rope podcast. Call today for a free estimate, 267-262-1660. Once again, that is 267-262-1660. There is no job too big or too small. All right, we have We have two of the bigger awards, the Cy Young Awards and the MVP Awards. We have in the AL, we'll talk about the Cy Young. We'll start with the Cy Young. In the AL, the Cy Young was Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray had a great year. Robbie Ray led the league he led the AL in strikeouts. He led the AL in ERA. He led the AL in, I believe, innings pitched. No, he didn't lead in innings pitched. Did he? Did he lead in innings pitched?
I don't
think he did. I don't think it was. I know we let him whip as well.
Yeah, I don't think he won the pitcher triple crown.
No, he didn't win the Triple Crown. He did not. Let's see. But yeah, he was. There's obviously debates on who should have won it. I actually didn't go with Robbie Ray. My guess, my prediction was
Cole,
Garrett
right?
Cole.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole had a great year. Garrett Cole led in every stat that you could possibly lead on in xERA
metrics wise. Yeah,
the metrics wise, which in my point of view, they're more of the numbers that he can control. Like regular ERA, he doesn't just control himself. xERA, they put into consideration what he can control. And xFIP, what he can control. Not, and I think that's stuff that I look at more when it comes to
has more weight.
Pitcher. And that, to me, that has more weight. To other people, it doesn't.
He did actually lead the league in innings pitched, by the way. He had one more than Berrios.
So he led the AL in innings pitched as well. And I think he led in strikeouts and
strikeouts, ERA, and innings pitched. I think wins is the Triple Crown one, right? Which is fucking irrelevant. Like, who cares about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really give a fuck about wins.
No one in the AL had 200 innings pitched, which is fucking insane. He led the league with
Yeah,
193.1, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts. But yeah, he had a great year. I mean, again, like I said, I picked Garrett Cole, but it could have went either way, and it did. It went the other way. It went to Robbie Ray, which was very well deserved. And now Robbie Ray also has hardware to take to the table when he's looking at possibilities of where he's going to go this year as a free agent. Is a huge thing for him. Being able to go into free agency with a Cy Young award. It's very similar to last year
with Garrett Cole
when Trevor Bauer went into free agency with a Cy Young award. I mean, do I think he's going to get Trevor Bauer money? No, I don't think he's getting Trevor Bauer money. I don't think it's that. I don't think he's that. I think he's good. I'm not sure if he was that
more of an anomaly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had a very good season, and I hope that he's able to carry it on. Unless it's for the Yankees, I hope he doesn't carry it on if that's the case. But I didn't hate it. I didn't think that was a bad move giving him the award. What is your take on the Cy Young?
I think it's I'm right there with you. With it could have easily just went. It was between them two. I mean, I don't really see an argument for anyone else. Like they're pretty much 1-2 in every category. And it's just like, I mean, flip a coin. I'm glad Garrett Cole didn't get it. Like you're a Yankee, beat it. And Robbie Ray, who I always was not a fan of at all. I don't like the way he pitched, but this year he found something. Like obviously all clicked for him, and I mean, good for him. He definitely deserved it. So I'm very, very okay with that decision.
He is Mr. Tight Pants.
He absolutely is. Yep.
He decided to shrink his pants, and it almost made him a better ball player.
I was gonna say maybe that was what it was. For some reason, his pants were too baggy. He
squeezed.
Squeezed everything out of him. Yeah,
he squeezed all the blood,
all the testosterone moving.
Everything that was in his ball sack just was, you know what?
Yeah,
we're gonna just tighten up and shoot up. Right.
Yeah, and if you can't move a lot of your lower half, it's easier. I would guess it's probably easier to not make mistakes. You can only do so much, so you can't. It's not even like he can pick his leg up too fucking high.
No, on accident. He'll rip his pants straight off.
So maybe that's what they did. Yeah, and you don't want to see that.
Nah, nobody wants to see that.
Somebody out there might, but most people don't.
Not I.
No, not I either.
Really, no.
So I think that the elasticity of his pants allowed him to repeat his delivery very well, and that's what he figured out.
I didn't see that coming. I did not see tight pants being a huge reason.
Well, Walker Buehler was
award.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of that. Walker Buehler also finished
another tight pants legend.
Tight pants that was able to make him, more weirdly tighter pants make him more aerodynamic.
Exactly, quicker to the plate with less. You can't make it that many mistakes when your pants are pulling you in a certain direction.
It's like a rubber band.
Exactly.
Yep.
You pull it back, it goes right back to the same. I don't know. It was exactly. It was the sound that fucking tight baseball pants make when you make a great pitch.
Yeah. A little bit of that.
It almost sounded like Pluth. Yeah.
Just sounds like a noise they just make with your mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. And your butt.
Like when you're just the NL Cy Young. This caused some controversy.
Yes.
The NL Cy Young Award went to Milwaukee Brewers pitcher Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns he's another one, led in a lot of metrics, a lot of xERA.
Pretty much everything,
He was a absolute stud. The one big problem that people are having with it is he had 46 less innings than Zach Wheeler, who finished second behind him, which I mean Zach Wheeler
had 5 first place votes?
Yeah, absolutely. And Wheeler had an awesome year. Wheeler was deserving as well. Both of them were very much deserving of the MVP, the Cy Young. But I mean, this is my point on this. This is my whole, I can't blame Corbin Burns for the way that Craig Counsell manages.
It's literally the same exact thing that's what you're saying is probably going to be the same thing I'm saying. 100%.
I can't blame him for that. He also had 4 less starts than Zach Wheeler did. So, judging by his normal outings, that probably would have given him 20 more innings. Would that have been more? It seems like his average start went about 5, probably like 5 and a third, 5 and 2/3.
Yeah, I think so.
He entered the 6th inning in a lot of his starts. Would that, do you think, would have made people think, like, if he would have had them 4 extra starts where he would have gotten those 20 extra innings, do you think people would have been more like, all right, well, he only had 20 less innings than, like, or do you think it would be the same result where people would be like, well, he had 20 less innings than him?
I think it would have definitely made the conversation like less. I guess people would have been less mad, obviously, but I think people were still nitpicked at that and like, you didn't pitch enough, blah blah blah. But like exactly what you said though, you can't fault Corbin Burns for the way that he was managed. Like that was he put in a better place to succeed, like a better chance to succeed. Yeah, I guess so. Like Wheeler was obviously asked a lot more of from the Phillies than Burns was for the Brewers. That's how it is. But that doesn't mean Corbin Burns wasn't dominant and isn't deserving of it,
or more deserving. Exactly. Or deserving of it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
so, like
I heard,
again, you could go either way with that. But
I'm in a group chat. What is it? I think it's called. What is it called? Like a Discord. I think it's called Discord.
Yeah, Discord.
I'm in a Discord thing with the guys from the Painted Lines. Shout out to the Painted Lines, by the way. I'm in a Discord with the guys from the Painted Lines, and one of the guys said, what was his direct quote? And I questioned him on it just because not that I didn't understand, but like I just wanted to know what he really was like saying about it. He was when he was talking about the where was it? It was him talking about the Cy Young vote and why. He said, in a sense, the Milwaukee Brewers bullpen won Burns the Cy Young, whereas Wheeler constantly had to prop up a bad bullpen. So I get so I questioned
it. Is kind of what we said, right? Like it's the way he was managed with the strong bullpen behind him, as opposed to the Phillies who had to lean on fucking Wheeler more. So I guess it makes sense. But
I questioned him and I just said, how did his bullpen matter in this? I just wanted to know what his explanation was.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he said Counsell probably felt more comfortable handing things over more than Girardi and thus wasn't pushed as far. There's a lot of factors at play here. I'm not knocking Burns in any way. I just think the whole thing is interesting. And I said back to him, I think I feel more comfortable at St. Joe's Prep handing the ball over to my bullpen than Girardi does. And it's the truth. I think there was just zero trust. He didn't have as much trust, and I get that, but it's just one of those things where it's like I don't know how much I can really even say that. Like, because he believed in his bullpen more. Like that's why he's at fault. Like that's not like really a negative. It's Craig Counsell.
No, it's not.
In reality, you could say Craig Counsell won him his Cy Young.
Yeah,
because he's the one who said, you know what, I think enough's enough right now. You're done. Took him out. Also, do people don't like really remember that? Maybe people don't really remember this. Beginning of this year, Corbin Burns didn't walk a guy for like
58 strikeouts.
He had 58 strikeouts, or he had 50-some strikeouts before he walked his first guy. Like that's fucking impressive. Because not only does that show that you're extremely deceptive, because you're starting to get people to swing and miss on shit, because you're not in the zone at all times.
No, you can't be.
So you can't be. It just doesn't make sense. You'd be awful real estate in baseball. Like you would get crushed if you
can't live it. Yeah, you don't live in the zone. Exactly.
You can't live in the zone. So if you were to have that happen, it just shows that he is deceptive. He was able to get swings and misses a lot when a lot of guys didn't. But Chris Lay, if Zach was robbed. I mean, Zach wasn't robbed. I agree. I don't think he was robbed. I think that, he struggled. I think he struggled at the end. There was points in the year where he did struggle.
Yeah, I think there was like maybe a six game stretch from like the beginning of August or the end of July maybe to mid to end August where he didn't pitch that well.
No,
And like, yeah, I mean, obviously that probably lost it for him, but like, you
No,
can't be fucking dominant every single game. Like, it's just
no, you can't.
Zach
You can't
Wheeler
expect that.
was deserving of the Cy Young, and so was Corbin Burns. Like,
Yeah,
the thing with like people arguing about this shit is like they're trying to say someone wasn't good enough, and that's not the case.
that's
it's
where,
like
and that's
Vladdy
where I'm
not
having a
winning
problem
the
with.
like Vladdy not winning the AL MVP. It's like it has nothing to do with he wasn't good enough. It's just fucking Shohei did some shit that people never did. Like, it's just like you have to
Yeah,
both things are living at the same time. It's a fucking race, and it's the two best in your position of the season. They both deserved it. Obviously, it's just fucking one deserved it a little more. That's how the voting came to be.
yeah, and that's just how it ended up being. Like, you can't, like, again, like, you can't fault him. You can't fault Zach Wheeler.
But also, Zach Wheeler was robbed.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking robbed.
And listen, and I would have been okay if Zach Wheeler's name was called last night too. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been fine with me. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be mad either way. I probably would have been more annoyed if Max Scherzer won it, because I definitely thought that Corbin Burns and Zach Wheeler both were better than him this year. I thought they were both better starting pitchers than him this year. He had a very, very good, like, second half, really. I mean, not that he didn't have a good first half.
He was on fire for a little while, but he wasn't.
There was a point where he was just dominant.
Yeah,
and I get that, and you have to, you know, give respect there. But yeah, that's I don't know. That's where I'm at with the Cy Young votes, and I think Corbin Burns, he deserved it. Robbie Ray deserved it.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about probably in my opinion, this was one of the easiest MVP votes that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it was unanimous, right? They did get
it was
all 30.
unanimous.
Yeah,
for the AL MVP. The AL MVP was Angels right-handed pitcher / DH Shohei
left-handed slugger.
Ohtani.
Yeah,
Shohei Ohtani was an absolute fucking animal this year.
I think he had a 5.1 F word offensively, just on offense alone, and then a 3 pitching wise. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
He had a 152 WRC plus as a hitter, and then said, "Let's turn
just
this
toss 130 great innings.
Let's turn this around and have a 3.32 xERA and a 3.55 xFIP." He also had 10.77 K per 9, 130 innings, started 23 games. Yeah, I don't really see much of a debate in who should have won it. He had a total, was it 3? He had a total of 8.1 FWAR this year.
5.1 and 3. It's just great season.
Which I think me and you talked about this before, how it's funny. Like, we're like, oh, he was
it's like
dunk.
Kind of an off year.
That's a down year for his teammate, Mike Trout.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But like, that just goes to like the greatness of Trout. It's just crazy.
Absolutely. And that's where I'm like, when I saw, when you see stuff like this, and you just can't really believe it. Like, wow, this dude had a fucking dominant year. Had 156 strikeouts and 48 home runs. Is that what it was? 48?
Stupid. Like, I literally don't think I could do that.
46 home runs.
46.
Sorry.
If I put MLB The Show in All-Star mode, I don't think I could do that. Like, it's just fucking insane. I was kind of arguing on Twitter with something earlier. They were trying to say that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is hands down the AL MVP because he plays every day. And Shohei, he was like, what's he pitch, 5 innings a week? He's like, give me the player that plays every day that has better offensive numbers.
He played 158 games this year.
Yeah, he played 3 less than Vlad. I think Vladdy. I think Vladdy played 161, which is a fucking ton. I'm pretty sure he did.
But Vladdy didn't pitch in between 23 times.
Yeah, he said he pitched 5 innings a week, roughly 5 innings a week. Give me the everyday player that had better offensive numbers. Acting like we're talking about Michael Lorenzen, who's a good hitter and a decent pitcher. Like, no, dude, he's a fucking elite. I think he was 18th in all of baseball position players in FWAR. Not including his pitching. Like, he was the 18th best offensive player.
Yeah.
who happened to throw 130 great innings.
Yep.
Like, how the fuck do you argue against that?
I don't
Like,
really see much of an argument there. I
no.
mean,
Whatchamacallit, Jose Abreu actually got a second, or not Jose Abreu, Salvador Perez got a second place vote.
yeah, it was probably a throw vote.
Yeah, interesting.
Had to have been.
Vladdy was third on that, but still.
Shohei Ohtani also was 5th in all of baseball and 2nd behind Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
WRC plus, right?
in WRC plus.
Yes.
5th in all of baseball.
That's what I'm
in weighted
saying,
runs
yeah.
created as a pitcher who threw 130 innings and hit 48 homers.
Yeah, this dude, I don't think that guy replied, but because I said that too.
him.
I was like, this dude's the 18th best fucking F4 player, has the 5th highest WRC plus on top of that. Like, you can't ignore his offense.
Yeah.
And just say he only pitches 5 innings a game. Like, wait, 5 innings a week.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at him and say, is he the best pitcher in baseball? You'll say no. If you ask if he's the best hitter in baseball, you'll say no. But he's doing something that nobody has done.
And both at high levels. Yeah, he's not just some bullshit pitcher. He's not a fucking that 4.5 FIP guy. Like, he pitched very well. Like,
he played ball well this year.
Yeah, all around. And the guy said something about he DH'd too much, so that doesn't deserve MVP. It's like, what the fuck?
So you never thought Frank Thomas deserved an MVP?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, guys like Frank Thomas were studs, you know what I mean? Like, David Ortiz probably deserved an MVP too, but he just never got one. But like, there was definitely years where he should have been up for it. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't. Who cares? DH is a position. It's becoming a position. It's a part of it. You're mad at him because he's a great hitter. The fuck
exactly,
out of here, dude. Like, I don't know. That
type of argument is fucking insane. Like that's not an argument. That's just you. No, I don't know if he was a Blue Jays fan or what, but it's not logical whatsoever.
No, it's not. And for NL MVP,
MVP3. You know what? Let's
pour one out, baby. Let's pour one out, baby. There it is. The MVP of the National League was Phillies right fielder Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper was an absolute fucking stud this year. He literally carried the Phillies for far too long. 4 months of the year was just carried by Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper led all of Major League Baseball in WRC plus with a 170 WRC plus, which is fucking stupid. He was third in all of baseball in F4.
Yeah.
With a 6.6. What else can we say about Mr. Bryce that hasn't already been said? This guy, it was a fucking stud.
And he got hit in the face with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball that almost broke his wrist as well. Like, it's fucking
correct.
Stupid. And he was playing like he was before that. His numbers were insane before he got injured. And then he came back. He played fucking hurt for too long. The Phillies did that with multiple players. That fucked his numbers up for a month before he went on the IL. Like, then he came back and just went back on that tear that he started with. Like, it's insane that there were his final numbers were that good, and he was playing with a month injured.
He was also the MLB leader in OPS, which is slugging percentage plus on base percentage. He had a phenomenal year. Bryce Harper, you deserved it. I don't care what anybody fucking says. You can say Juan Soto. You can say Fernando Tatis. You can say whoever the fuck you want. Bryce Harper deserved the MVP. Bryce Harper is now winning his second. That is his second MVP this year of his career. Yep. He won it back in 2015 with the Washington Nationals when he was 22 years old. He now is a 28-year-old, I believe. Is that, if I'm doing that math right, 6 years? Yeah, 6 years. He's 28 years old now. He won his second. He's the only player to win multiple MVPs, I believe they said, in the last 6 years. Is that what it was? In the National League? Or in general, I think I saw. I don't think, how many has Trout won? When did Trout win his last?
Trout has 3, but I don't know.
Since 2012, since in the last 6 years? It was something like that. Like, I saw some number, like he was like the only player to win 2 MVPs, or I think it might be in the National League in like a 6-year period since Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Like multiple MVPs in a 6-year period since Barry Bonds, I thought I saw.
It's ridiculous.
Which is incredible. You know, another guy that I'm going to throw out there that people have been really, busting fucking his, Major League Baseball's balls about, and voters alone and finalists, not being a finalist, Austin Riley. Don't get me wrong, Austin Riley had a good year, had a very good year. Austin Riley was not the best player in the National League this year. He wasn't. I'm sorry, he was not. He had a good year, but there were 3 players who were better than him, and all 3 were finalists.
Yeah, and
actually, and I could even, I said this to you off air. I probably would have put Trey Turner as another guy who I would have put above.
Trey Turner got a short end of his stick.
Riley.
They got no recognition for having a monster season.
Led all of baseball in F4. Led all of baseball in offensive F4. I'm sorry, in batting F4. They don't call it B WAR on Fangraphs.
Baseball
B WAR would be Baseball Reference WAR. But great they call it just it's great beef. I love it. I love both websites, but I've told you numerous times I'm more partial to Fangraphs. But it was a great year from Bryce, and it was just great to see how it's just great to see him get the recognition he deserved. No one deserved that MVP more than he did. He put his ass on the line every damn night. Yes, did he make some bonehead moves? But it was him trying to do too much to try to win games.
Yeah, their offense without him was anemic for most part. Like it was pretty terrible. So he made a couple base running errors that shouldn't happen, but like the dude's trying to make something happen. I mean, and that is what it is.
Because they don't and that's the thing. The Phillies didn't have players to make things happen.
No, not at all. And
and it forced his hand.
Yeah, not to take things away from Austin Riley, but that lineup's fucking stacked. So I mean, obviously, like they beat up on pitchers. It's going to be an easier day for fucking Austin Riley to have great numbers, as opposed to Bryce Harper, who had dog shit around him pretty much all season.
Chris Leahy, 65 wins without Bryce Harper, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know if they're that low, but I'm telling you what, they're definitely
wanted of one exactly.
Who knows? I mean, they're not nearly the team that they ended up being without Bryce Harper. Like you said, their offense just went fucking silent for forever, and then it even showed even more. And it showed even more during that Braves series at the end of the year when they were vying for a playoff spot. They were 2 games out There were 2 games out of the division with 3 against the Braves, and they ended up getting their fucking asses kicked. And Bryce
he had a bad series. Yeah, he went 0 for 11.
He went 0 for 11 in the series, but the whole offense again didn't do shit. So what do you want him to do? And then it was
everybody saying that he doesn't deserve MVP because he didn't show up in that series. Like,
and that's, to be honest, that should show why he did deserve it.
He didn't show up.
Without him, they're not here.
Smacked.
Yeah, exactly. Without him, they're not here, and that's really what it came down to. I looked at it more that way. I think that series solidified that he deserved it.
Yeah, I also had someone on Twitter earlier. I had a long beef while I was driving home, but I don't promote that. Probably shouldn't do that. But there's a little bit of traffic, so we'll go. We'll go with that. Yeah. I mean, Twitter fingers. But this guy was saying, like, I think he was talking specifically in the beginning about Harper and Soto because they walk a lot. Their averages are higher, which doesn't make sense. And then we kept going. Like, he was talking shit. He's a Braves fan, talking shit on Harper, saying he doesn't deserve MVP. Blah blah blah. He walked a ton. That's why his average is so high. It's not how average works. So I was like, we were beefing a little bit about like having like friendly rebuttal just about Braves. He was like, "Oh, I'll take a World Series over." Yeah, I don't want to get. It's a good point. Trying to get banned again, but like we were going like, oh, he was like, "I'll gladly take World Series over Bryce's MVP. He can have it." And I was like, dude, I would drive his MVP award to your house if it fucking gave us a World Series. Like, obviously, yeah. So, but then I was like, why? He mentioned this a couple of times. Yeah, I was like, why do you keep mentioning that his walking was the reason he had a good year as a batting average standpoint? And he kept saying,
did he think that like added to it,
dude? He was like,
walks count towards your batting average?
Oh, he actually
walks don't even count towards your batting towards your plate. I mean, it only counts towards plate appearance.
It's not in that bat. Yeah,
it doesn't even count as in a bat.
Yeah, his I just had a notification because I haven't looked at my phone in a while. his last thing says, "You're hopeless. Please stick to yelling at your kid's soccer coach. Leave the pro sports to grown-ups." Nice.
Yeah, I got
But
I got blocked yesterday too by somebody, so it's fine.
yeah, I'm trying to think, like, see exactly where. Oh, he was actually just bashing Whitmore about. So he's hating on the Phillies, obviously. But
Yeah, that's cool.
trying to find his fucking
That's cool.
yeah. But he,
I
he
mean,
brought up
and-
Barry Bonds, and he put Barry Bonds fucking 2001 to 2004 season, highlighted the walks, and said, "Do you think he's hitting 370 without those walks? Do you think he's hitting 362 without walks?"
Yeah. No,
Said he
you know what I
might
think-
have hit 380.
You know what I think? You know what I think he's doing with those walks? I think he hits 100 home runs that year if he
Yeah, maybe.
if he doesn't get
He
walked.
said, "I'm trying to." All right, so here's the beginning of it. He said, "Teams walk him because the Phillies sucks." Blah blah blah. He had 100, or he only had 84 RBIs. His batting average and OPS was higher because he walked 100 times.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
So I said, "Why do you keep saying batting average is higher because he walks a lot?" This dude says, "Because it's a fact. When you make it out 3 out of 4 at bats, naturally, the more you walk, the less outs you make. It's a fact." I said, "Walks don't count to your at bats. It doesn't raise or lower your average." And he just kept going on it, like kept going on, like talking down to me, like, "You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about."
Nothing
His walks
infuriates me.
are why his average was
Nothing
high.
infuriates me
It's
more.
like, what, dude?
Nothing
Yeah.
infuriates me more than that. Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Fucking frustrating.
Very frustrating.
Yeah.
All right. So they're the awards. They were all the awards that were won. I mean, we didn't mention Silver Sluggers. We also don't really have much more time left, so I want to. So Silver Sluggers, congratulations. I don't know, I'm not going to go over.
Good job.
This, but good job, guys.
What
They're
is
pretty
your
much there were a lot of obvious names who won them. So just know that maybe I'll post them on my
Bryce
on my
Harper
Twitter
won
page.
his Silver Slugger because he walked a lot.
Yes, he did. Yes, because his average was high. I want to get into the free agents. There was free agent signings. We have started. The offseason has started.
Love it.
So I'll start with an extension. Jose Barrios got a 7-year extension for $131 million to the Toronto Blue Jays. I like it. I mean, it's always good to. I like when teams extend. It is. It's a good thing to see. It's a good thing to see them extend another pitcher. They're going to need probably to bring in another guy. I mean, it looks like they will most likely lose Robbie Ray.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of the Barrios extension was due to the fact that they're pretty much just chalking up that Ray's leaving? Like,
yeah,
they need to solidify the pitching rotation. The offense is going to do offense shit, so like they need to ink some pitchers.
So this is something I heard earlier. I actually was listening to Talking Baseball and listening to Trevor Plouffe and all talk. And one thing that they did mention was, the next couple of years are going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty expensive for the Blue Jays. You got to imagine they're going to be extending Bichette,
young
Vladimir
studs,
Guerrero Jr. Like they have a lot of players over there that they're going to need to extend. I mean, along with do they want to bring back some guys that I mean, they had Robbie Ray who ended up winning the Cy Young. They have Marcus Semien who was in the MVP, who was an MVP finalist.
Yep.
I mean, it's really hard for me to say that they're like. I don't think they're going to bring either of them back. Maybe they bring Marcus Semien back. He's probably if they added the two, I think he's the most likely to come back.
I mean, he's going to get offered more money somewhere else, but yeah,
I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know if that's even the case of what's going to happen. But I don't know. I mean, it's possible that they could sign both of them back. But do I see it happening? No, I see Robbie Ray going somewhere else. But yeah, I mean that was definitely a need. But that the next couple of years are going to be expensive for them if they want to be a consistent competitor. And I would just hate to see because like I said, Vladdy's going to be expensive. He's going to be the most expensive.
100%. Yeah,
he's going to probably be in the $200 million range. He's young. He hits fucking bombs. He actually lost a shit ton of weight this year, which even put him in the conversation. Which that pretty much solidified this kid's going to be what everyone wanted him to be. He lost a shit ton of weight
and
and he was
fucking
able to
more.
get himself into a good spot.
And that fact too, that they don't have to pay them guys yet necessarily. So like they could offer short-term contracts just to try winning now. But I don't think maybe Simeon, but like why you just blew up. You just got MVP votes. Like why not go get that 6-year deal if you can? Especially Robbie Ray. I see him trying to get the longest deal possible because this year was kind of an anomaly for him.
Yeah.
So like I don't see him, like you said, pulling a fucking Trevor Bauer thing where you can get 2 to 3 years before they have to really spend all that money on the homegrown kids.
Yeah.
But like I don't see that. I see maybe like unfortunately like Verlander's another guy we're going to talk about. But like if he were to sign like a 2-year deal with Toronto, that would make sense. Older guy and like fucking get a lot of money up front before they have to make those big contracts. But like
moves.
Yeah, I don't see Robbie Ray doing it.
Me neither. I don't. I really don't see him doing that at all. Another deal, which was, I think, the one that kind of, it wasn't the first one, but it was the second one, and it was the one that kind of confused me the most. Not confused me, but I guess it just shows what market value is. Noah Syndergaard. Noah Syndergaard signed a 1-year deal for $21 million with the Angels. We have said from day one that we wanted to see the Angels sign a starting pitcher. They did. We cannot say they didn't. It is definitely it's a risk. There's a risk reward here.
Absolutely.
If he can stay healthy, that's great. But he's pitched 2 innings in the last 2 years. 2 innings. 2. I had a guy.
One inning a year is not great.
No, and it was one of the Painted Lines guys said to me the other day that he's not a fan of Verlander. He don't think that he's, going to be, he's not going to be a factor, but a big factor anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand why people think that he's still going to be a good pitcher. And he told me that he also believed that there's more risk in Verlander than in Syndergaard because he hasn't pitched back-to-back starts in 2 years. It's really hard for me to say that when Noah Syndergaard hasn't pitched back-to-back innings in 2 years.
It's tough. I mean,
it's a tough
Verlander.
It's a tough argument for me for him to say because the one start that he had last year, he was dominant. He went 6 innings. I think gave up like 2 runs, which is a quality start. He had a good start. He got hurt, but he had a good start in his only start from last year. And he's coming off another year prior to that where he was fucking dominant. So it's really hard for me to say that he can't be good in his age 39 season. And age seemed like it was the big thing with him, with them. Like, he's too old. He's 39. Like, I don't care how old he is.
Until he's not
he's
good, I'm going to believe that Verlander's going to be good. Like,
exactly.
It's pretty much that simple. Until he stinks, I'm going to think he's going to be fucking good. Not that it compares, obviously. But Tom Brady's fucking 44 years old. Like until Tom Brady's not good at football and controlling a game, I'm going to fucking trust that he's going to do good. Yeah,
exactly. I'm with you.
Like Verlander knows how to pitch. He just happens to throw 97 miles an hour still.
Yeah, he's a pitcher. He's a pitcher who throws 97.
Yeah. Early in his career, he was more of a thrower, but now, like, he's fucking 39, dude. He's been in the game for so long. He knows what he's doing now and just still happens to have the velocity to go with it.
Absolutely. So, why don't we just roll right on to Verlander? Verlander got a 2-year deal for $50 million, re-signing with them Houston Astros.
Yeah, so Houston obviously thinks he's fucking going to be good. Like
a team that just was in the World Series thinks that he's ready and he can still play.
Exactly. They're him and McCullers, like that's the 1-2 punch. I mean, they obviously got the like Valdez and stuff, but you got like that's the 2 guys that you're going to lean on going forward.
Definitely. Eddie, the first guy to sign, the first guy to sign was Andrew Haney, but that was a 1-year deal for $8 million with the Dodgers. Couldn't fucking care less. That's Eduardo Rodriguez.
That's a dart throw with Haney.
Yeah.
Fucking no clue what's going on with that. Yeah. Good luck. I mean, hopefully he does well. Fucking stunk with the Yankees.
Yeah. Eduardo Rodriguez was the first big signing. 5 years, $77 million with who?
Your boys.
The Tigers.
Yep. Your second team.
Hey, listen, I need a second team
As a pitcher, why not go to Detroit? Eventually he's going to sign with Detroit. That means a couple years from now, going to be a Cy Young winner. That's just how it works. Detroit pitchers always win Cy Youngs now.
Yeah,
just not with them anymore.
Just not with them.
Yeah, not anymore.
But yeah, that's that. They were all the signings from so far. There's going to be more to come. We'll be back again to be bringing you more information on what's going on in the world of baseball within the next week. I think we've actually discussed having a more of like a set day. I mean, Thursdays. Danny sometimes works nights. When he doesn't work nights,
I could
Thursdays.
I could do Fridays or Saturday nights, but I'm sure not many people want to fucking tune into that.
Yeah, but you know what? We also are on we're Apple Podcasts and we're also on Spotify, so you can always go catch them on there. But yeah, I mean that's that's really all we have tonight. But we look out for us making an announcement on when our set day is going to end up being, because it doesn't look like Thursdays is really going to work full time for us. So probably more on like a weekend, probably Friday. Friday sounds probably like most likely.
I could definitely do Friday nights. Like I never do shit on Friday nights, and I don't work on Friday nights.
Yeah, we'll either do Friday, we do Saturday. Me and Danny will talk, and we'll get back to everybody to let everyone know what we are doing.
Absolutely.
Shout out once again to Gary Construction for sponsoring, like always.
You rough on them papers sounded like a fucking war zone, by the way.
Like that?
I'm sure people. I hope someone listens to this tomorrow on fucking Apple Music, and they're not driving their car when that happens. Yeah, for real. They're gonna dodge a ball.
But all right, that's all we have. Thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate it. We are out.